Should Arsenal fans be worried? Are you guys taking too long to get the proper deals done? Or should you be more patient? Are you actually building properly? Are you actually making the right signings? But because it's not the signings that you want to hear right now, it's coming across as negative. That's what I want you guys to answer, Arsenal fans. I'm actually asking you because we've seen that this Norgaard situation, you're going to get him. You've brought in Kepa. Zubimendi's all but there, but you still haven't got a striker. You still haven't got the big boy players in that are going to draw you closer to Manchester City slash or Liverpool, the champions. But my question to you guys is, are you being hasty? Do you know what I mean? Like, or is Mikel Arteta slash the people at Arsenal who make the transfer decisions, are they doing enough? Is this enough to keep pace? Or do you just need to exercise more patience? Just wait. But I hear the pain. Arsenal fans have been waiting a lot of years, a lot of months, a lot of hours, a lot of days. How much more waiting are you willing to sit through? And actually, I do feel that for Arsenal fans. Let me know what you guys are saying on this. This Christian Norgaard situation. Thomas Partey's left the football club as well. And I was thinking about whether it's good or bad. Like straight away, I was like, you know what? How are they getting another midfielder? Like, where's the striker for Arsenal? But when I actually look at the signings you've made, right, I think you have to look at it this way, in my opinion, as a neutral, right? Because I can see why there's outrage, but I can also see why some people are saying be a bit more patient. Here's the thing. The signings that you've actually made for the players that have left are actually necessary, in my opinion. Thomas Partey has left. You've brought in Zubimendi. That's how I see it. Like Thomas Partey is a legit starter. Zubimendi is supposed to be a top central midfielder. Starts for Spain. Obviously plays really well for Sociedad. Nearly went to Liverpool. You know what I'm saying? This is a top player. So that's your Partey replacement. Jorginho left the football club. He's older. What is he? 30 plus. You know what I mean? He's there for experience. Kind of comes in and out the squad. He's not the main guy, right? But you got him there. You need a player like that, just in your ranks. They're on any vibe. He left on a free. You bring in Norgaard. So really, that's like for like. Essentially, it's like for like. And just in support of Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, just for a second, if you don't replace them players and you go deep into competitions next season, you're using the quarterfinals of the Champions League 2 years ago, semi-finals of the Champions League this year. The cup runs haven't been good enough, losing to Man United, different points, losing to Liverpool in the FA Cup, losing to City in the FA Cup, third round. I remember that a couple of years back. Like, your cup runs haven't been good enough. Carabao Cup, I get that. But if you're going deep into competitions, 50 games plus, if you don't replace Partey and Jorginho, you lot are going to go mad. The Arsenal fans are going to be like, you didn't replace those players, etc., etc. So I see why you've got those two players. Like Zubimendi, like I said, is supposed to be top draw. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's your Partey replacement. Whether or not he does play a little bit more advanced, and you lot could say that's not a replacement for him. He doesn't play like that, etc., etc. Let's wait and see about the reshuffle of how things look. Don't know if Declan Rice goes one back where Partey used to play. That didn't used to work, did it? But I don't know. But you would say that's two midfielders out, two midfielders in. Those players needed replacing. You have to wait to see how Mikel Arteta uses them players, whether Zubimendi can indeed do what Partey used to do for you, which is very important. Because as soon as Partey weren't there, especially like in that PSG first leg, you just saw that hole that was in there. And the lack of sort of structure in that Arsenal midfield when Partey weren't there. But you got two midfielders out, so you brought two midfielders in. The Kepa signing, I think, is a smart signing. £5 million, backup keeper. Is it that Neto guy or something you did before? Not good enough. Like, it makes sense. Now, here's where I understand your anger, though, because if you think about it like this, you've been waiting so long. If this isn't the signings you want to hear about, shout out Lee Judges. Lee Judges was on with Dan Potts. Shout out 12th Man podcast as well. He was on with Dan Potts. It was a funny clip of a football context clip that was just Lee ranting, which was quite funny because I love when Lee rants. But actually, his point is right. He's saying that he doesn't believe that Arteta is the man to get you over the line. Some of you guys might disagree with that. He's not the guy to get you over the line. But what is going to get you over the line? Buying players that are the real deal. And what his argument is that these players that you're signing now, Norgaard and Kepa, like I say, I think Zubimendi is classed as a real deal signing. He's a top midfielder. But what Lee's saying is that these guys ain't the real deal. These ain't going to be the guys that get you closer to Man City, closer to Liverpool. And also, as a neutral, when I'm looking at Liverpool and City, I would be worried if I was an Arsenal fan, because right now, just off the transfer window, it's not done yet. You know, you're looking at it like, mate, the way City are moving, they're going to be right back in the mix, and Liverpool, you know, are going to be right up there. We're looking at third if we're not careful. Chelsea are going to get better. We could be looking at fourth. Do you know what I'm saying? Teams are going to get better. So you're not getting better at the crowd wait. And also, I do understand Arsenal fans' frustrations when, again, you're waiting for this big signing. Sesko, is it Gyökeres? Who the hell is it? Why have no bids gone in? You know, shout out Kenya on AFTV. I saw her saying, you haven't even tried to entertain the fans. Put in a bid for Rodrigo. There's no bids. It looks like you're just procrastinating, and all of a sudden it's not going to be either of these, you know? And I can see why Arsenal fans are just fed up of waiting for this striker. When are you going to go and get it? When is the money going to be put down on the table? When are you going to be able to say, right, this is the guy we're getting? So I do get it, man. I understand why a lot of fans are in angst about what's going on. Listen, it's the 26th of June. There's a hell of a lot more time in this transfer window. But when your aspiration is to win the league next year, which yours should be, which it should be every year because you're close to doing it, and you know you needed a striker, and the club they scrimped and scraped last summer, didn't get it. Terrible summer last year. Calafiori, who'd they get? Calafiori, Mikel Merino, and Raheem Sterling. Not good enough. Not good enough at all, is it, to bridge the gap? And look, it was a disaster. Then you got the emergence of Miles Lewis-Skelly, which stopped Calafiori even playing that many games. He had injuries as well. It turned into like a position that actually wasn't really the most needed. Mikel Merino, as league judges would say, he's done okay. And Sterling was a disaster. So I can't even remember who else he bought last summer, but to note, that's all I remember. The emergence of Ethan Nwaneri as well was obviously good. So nothing. But like you said, these stopgap players, are they going to do the real business? No, is this a Trossard situation all over again? The little place fillers, the little opportunities to get. You got to January. You said you'll go with what you've got. So Arsenal fans, I get it. You know there's money to be spent, and the club's not spending it, or they're not being ruthless enough, or being, cute enough or aggressive enough to go and spend it. You don't want to hear Kepa. You don't want to hear Christian Norgaard. You don't want to hear Zubamendi, who you've known for ages is on his way to the club. Where's the signings that are going to get you over the line? So, and when City are doing what they've done, when they've got in Shirky, Reinders, and Eight Nuri, strong. Plus they're probably going to do more. Liverpool, strong start. British transfer record for Wirtz. Kirkes, done. Frimpong, done. You know what I mean? Looking at more now. It does. It gives you the feeling that maybe Arsenal are getting left behind. So I see both sides. I still think if you sign the striker, once you get a Gyökeres or Sesko, whoever it's going to be, I think you'll feel a lot calmer. Got Kai Havertz back off injury. At least I know he gets a lot of stick, but his role is important in the team. But if you get that proper bad boy striker, then you've got Zubamendi. Then you're in business. Then you're in business. So watch this space, Arsenal fans. Still more confusion as to what you're actually going to do. But let me know, man. Is it time for patience, or is it time for panic? Let me know, people. I'm out of it. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to Football Flex if you haven't done so already. Peace.